Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Manager 2020 simulation of Euro 2020. And well, everyone's played twice, and so this is just going to be a quick summary video on what the groups look like at this point in time, just so going into the last round of fixtures we know where everyone is, what could happen, who needs to go through with what result. And we start with Group A, and Belgium with another 0-0, so they haven't scored or conceded at all in the tournament so far. Are 2 points behind Italy and Czech Republic, who play in the last game. Belgium with North Macedonia obviously need a win to get through. If they draw, they're out. If Italy and Czech Republic is a draw, Belgium will need to beat Czech Republic's goal difference. So they will need to win by 2. If Italy or Czech Republic lose and Belgium wins, Belgium goes through and whoever lost is out. That's what Group A looks like. I think Belgium, which is going to be the first game that I'll record, Belgium will need a win. It's as simple as that. They're going to need to come out swinging against North Macedonia, who, with 7 goals conceded, I think that's the highest number conceded in the tournament so far. But they've scored a couple of goals, obviously both of them against Czech Republic, but North Macedonia really don't have anything to play for except for knocking Belgium out, which would be pretty interesting if they do. All eyes, though, will be on Italy, Czech Republic, because depending on what happens in that game, could prove to be Belgium's downfall. I don't know what will happen if Belgium win 1-0 and then it's a draw between Italy and Czech Republic. I think it might go down to goal difference and then goals scored, in which case Belgium will go out. So Belgium probably do need to win by 2 goals, but I think that's a really good sort of like the way that this sort of looks. I really like that. I'm really excited to see how this plays out. Going into Group B, France and Denmark on 4 points each, Russia on 3. Russia and Denmark to play, and basically a draw for Denmark will see them through. A win for Russia is an absolute must. I think France shouldn't have any problems against Poland. But stranger things have happened, and Poland have looked okay in their 2 games. But I do see Denmark, Russia and Poland on a very similar level in terms of quality. Obviously Denmark with a couple of big plays in there, say Kasper Schmeichel, Christian Eriksen, to name 2 of them, and then Poland with Wojciech Szczesny and Robert Lewandowski as their 2 really standout players. But Russia don't really have that. Probably you'd say Moranchuk and Golovin for them, but in terms of actual quality, I think Russia have a pretty even amount of quality throughout their team, and I think I can see them getting a really good. I can see them beating Denmark. I can see a draw as the most obvious result there, in which case Denmark will go through. France, I think, regardless, are through. I'm not too sure about that, but because I can't see any way that they would lose out. If it's a draw, Russia would be on 4 points, but they lost against France. So I think head-to-head comes in before goal difference, in which case France are already through. And obviously if Russia wins, then France have a better goal difference than Denmark, so they'll be through. So I can't really see. So France probably are going through anyway. I think that's a given. But then I think it will be down between. It would just be down between that game against Russia and Denmark. And if Poland can upset the odds, it could put France into second place, and that will change completely how the knockout stages will go. But really interesting setup between those three teams there on who goes through. Group C, and this is probably the most surprising group out of all of them. Holland, who you'd put through as favourites in this group, are bottom of the group, and they play top of the group, Ukraine, who have looked actually very, very solid in this game. Well, in this tournament so far, and yeah, following their 0-0 against Turkey. Tough game. Turkey obviously on 2 points, and they're going to have to come out swinging against Sweden. I think, in my personal opinion, I think Ukraine-Holland will be a draw, and then Turkey will beat Sweden. Going into the games in the second round, I would have thought Holland for sure would beat Sweden. Sweden did not look good at all in their opening game, and somehow they managed to beat Holland. Obviously, if Ukraine can play like they did in that first game against Sweden, then they are sailing through as group winners. But I think it will be interesting to see how both of those games will play out. But I can see out of this, Ukraine and Turkey going through. I just can't see Sweden keeping up that performance against Holland, against Turkey. Turkey looks very good in their two games. Very unlucky not to come out with any wins so far, especially in that game against Holland. But, they looked good, and I think they'll have enough about them to really dominate Sweden. Group D, and you can see there England have qualified. That's the first actual Q that we've seen, and they're going through as group winners. It's as straightforward as that. They won 3-0 in the first game, 3-1 in the second game, and you can see there against Greece, who are in second place, a draw will not put them through. Depends on what happens between Northern Ireland and Albania. Greece did not look good. They had Samara sent off, who's I think a pretty big loss for them, but we'll see how they react to that. Greece haven't looked clinical in front of goal. It'll be tough for them to get anything from England, and Albania, I think, will have to really come out swinging against Northern Ireland if they want to go through. I would love for Northern Ireland to pick up a win against Albania and see, two British teams go through from this group. But I mean that's just me coming from Britain anyway. So it will be interesting to see how this one plays out. It's just between these three teams here and who wants it more. I think Albania will go through, but I'd love it if Northern Ireland did. Going into Group E, and I think this is one of the sort of more tasty groups here. Croatia versus Spain is a big game here. Norway are ahead of Croatia on head-to-head. If Norway win, Croatia are out, regardless of the result. I think Spain will go through anyway. Actually, no way. What would happen? What would happen if Croatia beat Spain and then all three teams are on 6 points? Because then head-to-head comes into it, in which case one team has beaten another team. And would it go down on goal difference, in which case Spain would go through along with Croatia? Or would it be Norway and Croatia, even though... Who knows? Actually, who knows? I genuinely have no idea how this is going to work out. But, again, you'd expect Norway to beat Georgia. you'd probably expect Spain to beat Croatia, just based on the way that Spain have played in their 2 games. But at the same time, Croatia played excellently against Georgia, absolutely dominated them from the first to the last minute, and they got a few goals in that game as well, just to boost up their goal difference as well. So that could play a factor as well, especially if they can beat Spain by a couple of goals. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see how that one plays out. And finally, Group F, and as we saw in yesterday's episode, Germany just destroyed Austria in that final 15 minutes. It was a sight to behold, and looking at this between Austria and Portugal, I think if Portugal wins, they could potentially go through. But again, that's probably going to leave 3 teams on 3 points, and yeah, that it does play a massive factor. But I think because there's only 6 groups, I think the way that this works is, I think there's some best placed third teams. Yeah, so the 4 best teams in third place qualify for the next round. In which case, let's look at this. If we look at all groups here, you're most likely going to be looking at Russia, Croatia, and Hungary, Portugal, potentially, and then one more, most likely Belgium or Czech Republic. So it's really anyone's game, this, because England are the only ones guaranteed qualified, and they're guaranteed to be top of their group, so they're sorted. It's just on who finishes where, and then it's the top 4 third place teams. So I can see it coming from Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group E. I don't know. Actually, do you know what? That makes it 5. That makes 5 groups that could have a best placed third place team, if that makes sense. But let's just take a quick look at some of the stats overall. And we can see here, England are the most prolific team in the tournament with 6 goals from their 2 games. Then Germany and Spain after that. And then Austria and Italy. Quite a few teams on 3 goals, which is as expected. Obviously, you can see from here, Turkey with the highest average possession. Only 2 teams above 60%, Turkey and Germany. So, a lot of possession in those games, and it'll be interesting if they do come across each other on who would dominate possession. I can see it going to Germany, obviously, but you can see in here Turkey getting a lot of their shots on target. Same with England there, and England getting a lot of tackles in there. A few teams on 2 clean sheets in there. So you got Belgium, Germany, Italy, and Ukraine. And some of these teams are looking very, very good here. Just look at the player stats overall, and we've got 11 players on 2 goals. So just to let's have a look at them. So you got Saul there. He's got the best minutes per goals ratio with 48 minutes per goal because he came off the bench. Same with Immobile, he's got 2 goals. I think both of them one of them from the start, one of them off the bench. And then Marcus Rashford, obviously he got substituted in his game, and then the other players have been playing for 90 minutes. But Lorenzo Insigne is the only one with 3 assists. Obviously he got all of those in Italy's 4-0 win over North Macedonia. 4-0. Tsigankov, Madison, Klaassen, Modric and Sabitzer all on 2. But, you know, Toni Kroos keeping up his... Well, I mean, he's averaging 7 key passes a game, and that's absolutely mental from my point of view. But only 1 assist from them, I think, because he takes a lot of the set pieces. That's probably why. But we've got a few plays here on 3 key tackles as well. Obviously, the more defensive side, say Norway, Albania, Georgia, in there. Florenzi, though, that's really caught my eye. 11 tackles per 90 minutes, and that's outrageous numbers there from, I don't know if he's a right back or a winger at this point in his career. It looks like he's a right back, but interesting he's got that many tackles and his tackling is only 10 out of 20. But yeah, I mean, we've got some interesting stats here. Obviously, after the group stages are done, you're going to see a lot of stats start to break away a little bit more, depending on the last game. But yeah, this is just a quick little overview of what everything looks like, and we go into the next set of games: Belgium versus North Macedonia, Italy versus Czech Republic, and yeah, I can't wait for it. So there'll be the next ones that come out over the next 2 days, and we will see how they do. But that's going to be it for this episode. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for future episodes and make sure you hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss a video. And I'll see you tomorrow for Belgium versus North Macedonia. Thank you.